So this is kind of like deja vu for us because we did this in Halifax.
We did.
Back in November at HalCon.
Anyone at go to HalCon here? Oh, we got a couple.
Got the shirt on.
We got the HalCon shirt on.
All right.
Right on.
East Coast representing. But the hospitality here in Calgary, I find the two are very comparable. Super friendly people backstage.
Yeah.
You were telling me that if you were to move to any Canadian city,
I'd move to Calgary.
Calgary.
Yes. I would. And we were talking about if you were to move to any other city other than Toronto, you would be. He said Halifax, actually.
Guys.
You're supposed to cheer.
Guys.
There's one Halifax. Okay.
My nose has been bleeding the whole time I've been here. My lips are chapped. You're all delightful. I wish you could move to Toronto so we could live there and have nice skin.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, so, AJ and I have known each other for a little while now, which is good. Yeah.
One of the things that came up at HalCon was a fantastic story that I was hoping you could maybe open with.
Oh, boy.
About
Which one?
meeting someone. If I'm not mistaken, it was in an airport.
What?
The question came up
What?
about how...
Was I there? What?
You were there.
Okay.
How your character never got promoted from ensign.
Oh, no. You want that one? Okay. All right. Okay, so it's a good story. Basically, I was going to, at the time, Voyager, I think it was probably, Voyager was already over. I was flying from Los Angeles to Baltimore, Maryland. I was flying with a buddy of mine, Aaron. Aaron and I were going to go visit our mutual friend, Jonathan Ogden. For those of you who follow football, he was the left tackle for the Baltimore Ravens, and he was just inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. So, yeah, great player. So we were going to visit Jonathan, and so we get on Southwest Airlines, and Southwest is kind of like the WestJet of the America, except you have no seat assignment. It's sort of sit whatever seat is open. So we were the last to get on the plane. My friend Aaron sat at the front of the plane. I sat at the back of the plane. When we deplaned in Baltimore, Aaron is standing outside of the at the gate waiting for me, and next to him is a young Asian American man. And I immediately assumed they were sitting next to each other. He was a fan of Voyager. He wanted to meet me, whatever. So as I walk up, my buddy Aaron goes, "Meet Harry Kim." And I thought he was introducing me. I go, hey, what's up? And he goes, no, this guy's name is Harry Kim. So then I look at the guy, I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I'm Harry Kim. And I said, well, that's cool. He goes, no, wait, the story's not done. He's like, guess what? When Star Trek Voyager was on the air, I was in the U.S. Navy, and I was Ensign Harry Kim. And I go, no, this cannot be true. He's like, yes, it was. I got so much crap for that. Every day, everyone in my unit made fun of me every single day. Ensign Kim. We start laughing, and he says, I was just wondering if I would ever get the chance to meet you, and I can't believe it. Finally, I meet you on a random flight to Baltimore. And I go, yeah, man, we're the same. He goes, no, I got promoted. So, that goes to show you that the real life Harry Kim gets promoted. And Ensign Kim, who is on the show for 7 years, the first character to die in Voyager and come back to life, who's been tortured, who's been beaten, everything happens to Kim, right? So if anyone is due a promotion, it was Kim, right? And so I asked somebody in the U.S. Navy, I said, after 7 years, if you're an ensign, the most junior officer, what are you? They're like, almost lieutenant commander, basically, right? And then Kim had to watch everybody else get demoted. Remember that? Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, you got a demotion, now you're back to, okay. And Kim's just sitting there, where's my promotion? No promotion. But that's a good starter, thank you. Yay.
Well, we're certainly going to open it up to the floor, but I got two more questions before we do that.
You
First, just because Star Trek Voyager, it continues to air on space, it leads into Inner Space, my show, and it still continues to kill in the ratings. People are watching, and no doubt they've seen these episodes 3 and 4 times before. Why do you think it has such a lasting impact, and why do people enjoy it so much?
I think, first of all, Trek episodes stand the test of time because of its creator, first of all. If you talk about Gene Roddenberry in the 60s, how when he started the whole thing, it really was a platform for him to be able to address all the craziness of the 60s, race issues, gender issues, you name it, they talked about that, or dealt with it in each episode of the original series. That legacy continued with Next Generation, went on to Deep Space, went on to Voyager, and then because of that, it's timeless then. You know, all the episodes are still current because it still deals with the human condition. And I think that is what draws people to Trek more than anything else. I had a really interesting conversation with a gentleman when I was signing autographs in New Zealand. He walks up to me and he says, "This is for my wife. She couldn't be here. She's at work." I said, "Oh, okay. What does she do?" He goes, "You're going to find this interesting. My wife is a psychologist at the federal penitentiary. So she's counseling all these inmates. These inmates come in and they talk to her about their childhood, about what went wrong in their lives. And after she assesses the situation, she finds the corresponding Star Trek episode that deals with their issue and makes them watch it as therapy." All right? That's huge. You can't say... Right, if that doesn't work with an episode of Friends, okay? You can't go, all right, when Rachel did the, no, that doesn't do anything, not at all. So really, Trek is, if anything, it's a blueprint for life in a way, right? Yeah, so I thought that was a cool little thing, yeah.
And before we open it up to the floor, I'm going to put you on the spot. I did this to you this morning.
Oh, gosh, AJ.
You know what's coming here.
Go.
So he does a fantastic impression of Kate Mulgrew. And... as you might be aware, Kate Mulgrew was recently involved in a little bit of a controversy. She narrated a video about geocentrism, which, if you're not familiar, that's the idea that everything revolves around the Earth. I don't know if anyone believes that here, but it's been proven not true, just to let you know. But anyway, Kate Mulgrew was involved in this. She did not want to be a part, or wasn't aware that this was the content of the documentary. And this morning, I had the pleasure of hearing Garrett's impression of Kate Mulgrew apologizing for her involvement in the project. I give it to you now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kate Mulgrew. I just want to say that I had no idea that this project had anything to do with geocentrism. As an actress, I took the job from my agent calling me and telling me that this was a good job to do. So I want to apologize. In no way, shape, or form do I actually think that the rest of the universe revolves around the Earth. At that point, I just hope that you all forgive me and know that Captain Janeway will live forever in the hearts of all fans.
But actually, I'm being light on her voice, because normally it's much more
Smurfy. I mean, the more Smurf you do, the closer you get to Janeway. And if you think about helium, inhaling helium, status support, Mr. Kim.
Oh my gosh. There was actually people, AJ, I don't know if you guys know this, but in the beginning of Voyager's days, people actually stopped, they were angry about her voice. They were like, "Oh, we can't watch because of her voice." I'm like, "Oh, okay." All right. And that was a big issue in the very beginning. And then obviously they're like, "Oh, well, I guess they're not going to fire her, so we'll watch now." So we'll get yeah, there you go. I'm gonna leave a message on your machine as her voice. How's that?
Hello there, it's Kate Mulgrew. How are you, darling? Have you seen me on my new show, Orange is the New Black? My hair's all red. I'm called Red. I play a Russian woman. Das Vidanya, baby.
Okay. Anyway.
All right, let's go to the floor for some questions for our guests. Just throw your hands up if you got one, and we'll pick you out of the crowd. Otherwise, I got lots. Right there in the baseball cap.
Yes, sir. Yeah, for me, I think the original series episode with the two the races, the half black, half gray, and the other guy was the race issue ones definitely for me, because I grew up in I was born in California. My father was at UC Riverside. He got his master's in botany. We then moved after 2 years to Indiana. He went to Purdue to get his PhD, also in botany. Then we moved after 2 more years to Bermuda, where my father worked for the Department of Agriculture as a plant pathologist. He was the first one to use the electron microscope when it showed up on the island. That was kind of cool. And then after that, 6 years on Bermuda, we ended up in Memphis, Tennessee, the deep, deep South, where they didn't have a lot of Asians there. You know, it was pretty much myself, my sister, and the family that owned the Chinese restaurant in Memphis. As much as I got picked on, the family that owned the restaurant in Memphis, their surname was P as in Paul, A, N as in Nancy, Pan. They named their son Peter. Bad move, okay? So if anything, I felt like, whew, at least I'm not Peter Pan, thank gosh, you know? So growing up in Memphis, there were a lot of issues for me race-wise because I was reminded on a daily basis that I was not like everybody else. And, you know, for those of you who went to high school, which everyone did, or junior high, when you face bullying, it's not a good thing, you know? I mean, it's absolutely... I always say that it should be a felony to bully somebody, okay? You should be expelled from the school if you bully somebody. That's my honest belief, because as a kid, you don't have the ability to balance that out or protect yourself or deal with process when someone bullies you. So there was a lot of bullying for me on a daily basis in Memphis, just because of my exterior. And it's crazy because I wore the same clothes as everybody. You know, in the South, they're very preppy, they're very conservative. I even, you know, picked up on a Southern accent, so I talked like everybody else. You know, I didn't have a Chinese accent or anything. But yet, I was constantly picked on because I didn't look the same. And not only was I picked on by Caucasians, but the African Americans were picking on me. So I'm sitting here like dodging from both sides. So anytime any episodes deal with, you know, race relations, those are the ones that ring the most for me. If I was to talk about episodes that really moved me, The Visitor, Deep Space Nine, The Visitor, that was an awesome episode that moved me a lot. I do want to bring something up that was a little crazy. Today, 2 things happened at my signing table. I don't want to bring it down, but I just want to bring it out just so I get it off my chest. A family came up to me and said, I don't know if you remember us, but we were at Edmonton Expo where you were at last year, and we came with another family, and if you recall, you took a picture with their young son who had cancer. I go, oh, and he showed me the picture. I go, I remember that boy, yes. Well, they were planning to come to see you at Expo here in Calgary, but the son passed away on Monday. So I was like, oh my gosh, that was the first thing that was rough. The second thing was a young lady came up to me and said, I don't know if you're familiar, but there was some shootings or something just happened recently, stabbing, in Calgary. And she said one of the deceased was my friend. And, oh God, so she basically said that one of the things that she and this friend Lawrence did was they would watch episodes of Voyager together. And the last Facebook post that he made was, he said, it's a done deal. Garrett Wang is at Expo. I'll be there to meet him. So that was a doozy, because she lost it. I lost it. You know, the people in line behind are like, why are they crying right now? You know, like, what did she say to him? You know, so that was a little rough. You know, but at the same time, she honored him in that she came over and she said, listen, you know, I'm here to just tell you that he was here to come see you. And I said, well, if you believe in the soul, in that we all inhabit a physical form, but our spirit is eternal, right? It continues. So in that regard, Lawrence is actually probably right next to you right now, you know. So we kind of consolidated that, and I gave her my email, and I said, if you ever need to talk about, you know, dealing with this, you please contact me. So it's just something that I just wanted to share with everybody that happened today.
I think we deserve a round of applause for Lawrence, right?
Yes. Lawrence, we're there for you. Lawrence Hong. Yeah. Anyway, next question. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back to the floor. Any
I
more
think we had
questions?
someone up there. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. W-A-N-G. Yeah. A lot of people, for instance, the designer, Vera, W-A-N-G, says she pronounces it Vera Wang. When I meet her, I'm going to shake her, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, why did you do that? You know, W-A-N-G and W-O-N-G are both pronounced the same way. The reason why they're spelled different it denotes what it basically tells what part of China your ancestors are from. If you're W-O-N-G, you're from southern China. If you're W-A-N-G, you're from northern China and central China. So, but in actuality, W-O-N-G is H-U-A-N-G in Mandarin. So it's really Huang is what W-O-N-G is. But Wang and W-A-N-G and W-O-N-G are pronounced the same. So that's why I try to pronounce it the way that you would pronounce it in China. And the cool thing was when the Olympics was in Beijing, the announcers were actually doing that because W-A-N-G is the same as Smith. It's the most popular last name in China. So a lot of the athletes had my last name. And someone must have talked to the announcers because they were saying like, and next up on the diving board is Wang Jiaozhu. Like, and so they were pronouncing it the right way. So that's why it's like that. Yeah. Have I thought of changing it? No, because then that would piss off my family. Like, why'd you change it to W-O? But what kills me is I have one sibling, a younger sister, and she's like, my name is Laura Wang. I go, it's not Laura Wang! You're my sister! This is Ensign Harry Kim all over again! But you're my sibling! You know, it's annoying, so. I don't know why I just talked like that, but all right. Sorry, AJ?
I think there were more from the floor of it. Well, there's a blue dress. Oh, like, where you were the fan.
Okay, yeah, 2 years ago. For those of you who were here at Expo 2 years ago, I had my long hair, right? Which made me look very First Nations, by the way. So, I had my long hair, and I was sitting at the Vulcan Tourism Board, the city of Vulcan in Alberta. They had a booth, and I was just there signing autographs. And you know, someone asked me, like, someone from Expo said, "Hey, do you mind? We lost an MC, a moderator, for the Stan Lee panel. Would you like to fill in?" I go, "Huh? Me? Okay." So I go there. And I thought I could handle anything, right? So I'm sitting, so Stan Lee comes out, right? And I'm shaking his hand backstage, and I start flipping out. I'm going, oh my God, this is Stan Lee, you know? And so we're on stage, and I start tearing up while we're on stage. I'm so happy. I'm crying. I'm like, it's Stan Lee. I'm so happy. I mean, I didn't do it like that, but I'm just giving you, I mean, it was definitely, it's coming out. It was coming out. And so that was my fanboy moment, you know. But I will say, I'm going to talk about somebody else. I don't know if you've heard about DragonCon, guys, but DragonCon is in Atlanta, Georgia, every year at Labor Day weekend. I serve as the Trek track director there. So I volunteer to program all the Trek programming for DragonCon, which is comparable in size to here. It's about 65,000 fans in Atlanta, Georgia. And I remember I was in the what they call the Walk of Fame, where all the actors are. So I'm signing, and all of a sudden, Firefly.
Nathan Fillion?
No.
Alan Tudyk?
No, girl, young girl.
Girl, Jewel Staite?
Other girl.
Summer Glau, yeah.
Summer Glau. So Summer Glau. I always,
got there, guys.
Yes, she walks. I always forget her name, and she's my friend. So she walks up. Because sometimes I want to call them by their character name, you know, and like, for instance, Tim Russ, on the show, I always said Tuvok, no matter what. Even when the camera wasn't filming, hey, Tuvok, what's up, man? What's going on? Tuvok, come here. You know? I'm totally segueing here, but the first time I met Tim Russ on Caretaker, we were filming Caretaker, I walk up to him, I go, hey man, you changed one letter, you would have been Tupac. And I thought I was brilliant, right? I'm like, he's like this. Rap music is a reason for the fall of modern Western civilization. That was his answer to me, okay? And I'm looking at him going, dude, I'm making a joke, right? I mean, no. I mean, he was serious. He's literally, Tim Russ is a Vulcan, okay? He's not African American. He is a Vulcan, okay? He doesn't have any, he's Vulcan. He is. So Summer Glau at DragonCon, I'm signing autographs. She walks up to me, and she's visibly shaken. She goes, Garrett. I go, what is up with you? She goes, look at my hand. And she puts her hand up, and it's doing this. It's like, I go, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Is this a seizure? She goes, no. I just walk up to Brent Spiner's table, and I can't stop shaking right now. She goes, so as a kid, she was watching Next Gen with her dad, sitting on her dad's lap. So all she knew was Next Gen, and she loved Data. So when she went up to go meet him, she couldn't stop. She fangirled like I mean, just vibrations of energy going, yeah, yeah. So I thought that was cute. So it does happen to us too, all right? So, yeah. Thank you. Yay.
Follow that up with something.
Yes.
You know, so much of what we do at conventions is meeting the people whose work we admire, and
Yes.
you are very accessible. You're very, very nice with your fans.
Yes.
You know, you engage them. But I've read some interviews with you where you spoke about other celebrities. Let's not name names necessarily, but who aren't so nice with their fans.
Yeah.
Who kind of treat them
Yeah.
a little bit more briefly, I guess, or curtly
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah.
In a certain way. Why is it so important for you to engage, and why are you so resentful of the people who do not?
Well, okay. My feeling is this: a lot of you guys, you've seen all the episodes of every Trek, right? And essentially, if we come into your TV, into your living room every week for 7 years worth of episodes, we're kind of almost like family in a way to you. You know what I'm saying? And so when you come to a convention, that 10, 15, 20 seconds, a minute that you come up to an autograph table to talk to me, to meet me for the first time, I want you to feel the same way I would want to feel if the roles were reversed. If you guys were the actor and I was the fan, I walk up to you, I would want you to look at me. I would want you to say hello. I would want you to say, how's your day doing? And treat me like a regular human being, you know? Because that 10, 15, 20, a minute, that experience lasts for the rest of your life, okay? And if I treat you the same way I want to be treated, I know that you're going to go home and go, you know what? He treated me awesome. That was so cool, you know? And you'll remember that for a long, long time. And that'll get you past when con is over and you're feeling those con blues and you're like, oh, con's over, you know? Because I feel the same thing. And you can think back on those memories and those thoughts, right? So when other actors are very short or kind of, you know, upset with the fandom, I almost start thinking, well, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you shouldn't even come then, you know, because you have to realize that it doesn't take much to be nice to somebody. You know what I'm saying? To realize the other person is of value and exists here as a fellow human being, because you and I, we're all made of the same atoms of energy, right? So in essence, I am you and you are me. You know what I'm saying? So, and if more people would understand that, the quantum physics behind that, there absolutely probably wouldn't be any more murders, because if you kill someone, you just killed yourself, basically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the problem. That's the issue there. So I really, really don't like it when people were kind of rude, you know. But in defense of some of these people, sometimes at the conventions, the line is so long that they're not even able to really give any time, you know. But then at the same time, let's just say it. We're talking about Shatner right now. Okay, so watch this. You're in a line to get Shatner's autograph. You've paid anywhere from $80 to $120 for that autograph. While you're in line, a staff member from the convention comes over and says, excuse me, when you go up to Mr. Shatner, make sure you don't look at him, don't talk to him, don't engage him in anything, and just blah, blah. So a handler gets the thing, and he signs and he does this. He doesn't even look up. What is that? You gotta look up for a second, right? And the thing is, yes, sometimes it's a huge line, but here's the thing. Let's take somebody else from that same show, George Takei. If you go to George Takei's line, he'll talk. Oh, so how many kids do you have? It's so great to meet you, and I just like to say that I'm having a great time in Calgary, and you have a dog also. Okay, so what's your dog's name? Can I sign this to your dog also? Okay. Oh, all right. Oh, I remember you from Edmonton. Yes, you look great. Oh my goodness, your children have grown so much. Wait, let me guess. Hold on. Susie and Timmy? I got that. That guy understands it. He gets it. Okay? So if you haven't met George Takei, please take the time to go meet him if he's ever in any other Canadian city, because that man is a gem. He's a true diamond in the rough, and unfortunately, he's up there in age, so, you know, he's not going to be around that much, you know, forever. So the bottom line is, meet him if you can, because he's a true gentleman, and it's amazing that he takes so much time with each fan. So I think if Sulu can do it, Kirk can do it too. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Well,
yeah, because you're referring to, you know what you're referring to. There's if you go on a Google search, you'll see there's a headline: Garrett Wang hates William Shatner. Okay, I don't hate William Shatner. I don't. I'm a huge fan of Captain Kirk. I'm just not a fan of when William Shatner is at a convention. That's the best way to put it, right? That's all. Simple as that. Yeah.
Let's go back to the
Yeah.
crowd right there.
Hello. Why, yes. Oh, my. Oh, I'll hug you until the cows come home. Yeah. I made a reference for Calgary. Okay. Let's just keep talking like this for the entire panel. Yeah. See? No, he's not. He smiled. Yeah. Yep, thank you. Yeah, when you see me, I'll hug you. That's for sure. All right. It's anyway, I just want to go to Patrick Stewart's story. Can I just? Yeah. This is crazy. It was probably maybe the third episode of Voyager was being filmed, so this is very early in the game. And I walk on set, and Patrick Stewart is sitting in a director's chair next to the director and the producer. And so I walk out, I'm like, Now, let's just rewind a little bit. I loved Dune. I loved his character in Dune. I loved his character in Excalibur. So I've been following Patrick Stewart forever, basically. So when he pops up on the set randomly, I was a little fanboy. I was like, so I walk over. I'm like, yeah, Mr. Stewart. Hello, I'm Garrett Wang. I know who you are. And I went, I couldn't catch my breath. He goes, I know who you are. And I said, oh my God, really? And he's like, I had the chance to watch Voyager. And then he said, I watched the first episode, Caretaker. Excellent work. And when he said that, I felt like I was knighted by the Queen. It was like, I knight you, Sir Harry of Kim. Boom, boom, like that. It was just like, his score. Patrick Stewart complimented me. How good does it get but that? People Magazine has an issue called the 50 Most Beautiful People issue that comes out every year, right? And there are only 2 people that were in that issue. Patrick Stewart and me! It was like awesome! It was like, yes! We got it there! Oh, I love that. But the funny thing was, it was 1997 when I was in that, and like in 1998, the makeup artists in the Voyager trailer were like, oh yeah, I guess you're number 65 now, so you didn't make 50. So each year after, they would put me at a lower number. Oh, you must be 230 now. Sorry, they keep really pushing me further down. Yeah, but that was fun. Another question?
Yeah, any more from the crowd? Right there.
Was the coffee any good on the show? Are you referring to Janeway?
There's coffee in that nebula.
Is that what you're referring to, kind of a thing? Yeah. Yeah, there was a whole coffee reference all the time on there, right? Yeah. Coffee on the set was horrible, actually, I think. No, I don't know. I'm not a coffee drinker, actually. I drink tea. I like green tea, mostly. But I wouldn't be able to answer that. But nice question, though. Thank you. Yes? Hello? Oh, you're welcome for, yes, you have a photo that I signed, yes, and? Okay, do me a favor, come up here. AJ, can you just put that mic up to this young man's, that's a diatribe, go ahead.
Thank you. People are now talking about a technological singularity where humans will have their lifespan extended to the point where we will be far more intelligent and our lifespan will be far longer. You're an actor, and if a movie script came to you where you'd play one of 2 brothers in the future who'd have this choice presented to them, would you rather play the logical Spock character who would decide that this decision is for the better, or the McCoy character who refuses to accept this choice and insists that we are losing too much of our humanity by saying yes?
Whew! Now that man took some time to prepare that question. Round of applause. Thank you. All right. Thank you. You can sit down now. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, AJ. That was a mouthful, wasn't it?
It was.
Okay. So would I rather choose Spock or McCoy? I think I would pick McCoy. I would. I would go with that instead of the logical side. I would pick the humanity side over the logical side. Thank you. Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because that's been my pet peeve about Voyager. Honestly, was when we got the show, the executive producers sat us down and said, "Congratulations on getting their parts. Now we have to make an announcement. For those of you playing human characters, we need you to downplay your roles." We're like, huh? We want your delivery to be more mechanical, more two-dimensional, more militaristic, because this is the only way to make the aliens look real. This was what they said. Rick Berman said this. And I said, what? That doesn't make any sense. So sure enough, season 1, anytime anyone delivered too much emotion in their lines, they sent a little memo to our trailers saying, you will reshoot that scene on Thursday, because that was way too much. So I had to reshoot. After 2 scenes that I had to reshoot, I give up. I'm not going to try to buck the system. And I just kind of played along. And I said, slowly in 7 years, I'll keep adding as much as I can, right? And I did. The colors came into it. Well, people don't know this, but Janeway reshot over 40 scenes the first season. There were scenes where Janeway was crying, season 1. There were scenes where Janeway was furious. You don't see that. You don't see any of that, because they changed all of that stuff. So for me, I always believe, I disagree with that. I think the human character should be as human as possible, because they are human. We all experience emotions. And everyone has already bought into the existence of the aliens. It's not like, people are like, well, we don't really believe in Klingons. We don't believe that they're possible. No, people already believe that, right? So why would you change that after 40 some odd years of Trek at that point? Why would you do that? So, yeah, it's kind of odd. Anyway, hope that answers your question in some. Yeah, you're welcome. Whew, any shorter questions? Okay, AJ, pick one.
Right up there above the Blue Spirit.
Thank you.
About the Beowulf episode, you remember that one? Should have been a Harry Kim, ended up being a Doctor episode.
Yes.
You had one shot at the end where you were in period costume.
Yes.
You had your hero pose.
Yes.
Hero suit way in. Did you ever get a chance to do a period piece as an actor? It wasn't just Harry Kim getting screwed over there. It was you, Garrett, getting screwed over.
Yeah, it was. It was really. Well, it's funny because we did an episode where it was with Q in it back in the U.S. Civil War. Do you guys remember that? The Q in the gray. Yeah. Well, so I'm all decked out in Civil War garb, right? And believe it or not, they overexposed 3 canisters of film of all my footage, basically. Gone, right? So all the stuff, I'm running around, I'm shooting and everything. I run up to Janeway in her cool little hoop dress and everything. All gone. So every time, we got to do something cool, period piece, film was overexposed there. The end of the Beowulf one. Oh, you just see me a little bit in the costume, and that's it. When the Hirogen took over Voyager and used it as a training thing for their soldiers. Everyone got to go into the holodeck. Neelix got to be a Klingon, right? He got to go. Okay, that's great. All right. Chakotay and Paris, they get to play World War II U.S. Soldiers, right? They're like, hey, all right, guys, hey. And then what does Kim do? Kim is stuck on the ship. He's sitting there, I'm dealing with EPS conduits and relays. What? Can I wear the World War II period? No, someone's got to be on the ship. I'm like, so I really, you know what I felt like? I felt like the graveyard manager of a 7-Eleven is what I felt like. It was just sort of like, no respect. It's just like, it's just you. You get to handle that, Well, you're captain from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., I'm like, oh. So yeah, it was kind of annoying that Kim didn't get that chance to play period piece, because I love. Thank you. I know. Thank you for bringing up the pain. Okay. Love you. I'll hug you too. That's all right. Don't worry about it. All right. Question?
Any more from the floor on this side? Right there.
Yes. Twitter and social media. The question was Twitter and social media. How has that changed my interaction with the fans? Would I have liked to have that when it was when the show was on the air? Right? Yeah. It's crazy because in Hollywood now, according to Bob Picardo, the doctor, he told me, he's like, Garrett, I just want to tell you, I don't know if you know this, but in Hollywood, if the role is between 2 actors and the producer and the director can't decide who who they want for the part. They'll actually look at who has more Twitter followers. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And they do that. I started Twitter years ago, but I tweeted 12 times like 4 or 5 years ago when Jerry Ryan first got me on. And then I lost my phone when I was in Spain, like right after those 12 tweets. And I'm like, and I never really got back onto it until last May. So I went from 12 tweets for 4 years, whatever, and then from last May till now, I'm at 4,000 something, and so it's completely changed. I tweet all the time. That's my main social media, and I think it would have been awesome back then, because it is the one way that you can really get some contact with them, and you know it too, for your Twitter account. Yeah. Some random person in Northern Territory, whatever, can sit there and go, hey, AJ, what's up with that? And AJ can answer right back, which is it's so immediate. It's literally like an ongoing convention panel is what it is, right? I mean, it never ends. So, and in a way, for me, as social as I am, as personable as I am, it's an ideal medium for myself. And I really do wish that it was in existence during Voyager days. That would be wonderful. But it's around now, so it's good, and I will use it to the fullest extent for sure. It's at Garrett RWANG for Twitter. I'm also on Instagram, but I'm mostly on Twitter. Facebook, you can follow that, but I'm really more on Twitter now. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Anything more from the floor?
Okay, how about here?
Oh,
Yeah.
right there in front row.
So, my question is, I don't know if you watch Star Trek movies at all, or
Oh boy.
follow any of that, but my question is, with your opinion, is maybe if you know any of the other people's opinion of watching them play with time, for example, like New Vulcan never existed,
Yeah.
right, type thing. What do you guys think when you watch these?
What is our opinion of the new the JJ reboots and when they play with time and eliminate Vulcan, right? Yeah. No, hold on. No, all right. I'll tell you right now. When the first reboot came around, the first thing that happened is, actually when they were filming, J.J. Abrams made a decree. He said, okay, other than Leonard Nimoy, any actor who's ever acted in Trek is not allowed to be in my film. Anybody who worked on camera is not allowed to do camera on my Trek. Anybody who was makeup on any other incarnation of Trek. Basically, any support staff was not allowed to work on his Trek, okay? Which I thought, well, that stinks. And then when they had their premiere, when they premiered the first was it 2008 or 2009? 2009. When they premiered the first one, the first JJ reboot, they had the Hollywood premiere. They invited no one except for Leonard Nimoy. None of us got the invite to come to the premiere, which I thought was what a slap in the face that was, right? It was, who was it? Rod Roddenberry, Gene Roddenberry's son, actually had a screening at Paramount Studios, and he invited all the people that were camera people, the makeup people, and all the actors, and we came there, and this was before it came out in the movie theaters. And I remember sitting down, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope this is good. I hope it's not bad, because I'm part of Trek too, and I was so nervous. And that first shot, you see that shot, the camera goes across the hull of the ship, right? You hear the familiar ping, and all of a sudden, boom, the first scene is that huge, the massive futuristic Romulan mining ship comes out, and it's just all hell breaks loose. The shot where the woman, everything's going crazy, she gets sucked out in the airlock and it's quiet like that, and then it goes back into the craziness. I'm just sitting there going, I'm just watching going, oh my gosh, and literally not once in a 2-hour and 6-minute movie did I look at my clock, my watch and go, oh, I gotta be somewhere. I was just glued, because the pacing of that film, whether or not you're mad about the timeline, the pacing of that film was perfect, okay? It was fast action and then slow. Because the slow part would be, you got to see what Kirk looked like as a kid. You got to see little Spock getting bullied by the other, by the full-blooded Vulcans, right? Right? Little play on the bullying stuff, right? So I was just like, hey, I feel just like Spock did, okay? So it was like, I related to it. So everything about that film, from the casting, oh my gosh. If you talk about what an amazing job for McCoy, right? It was like, oh, that monologue about space, amazing, right? So I was so excited. And after the film was over, what I did was I became an ambassador, basically, because right after that screening, I got down to go to Cape Canaveral to watch one of the last launches of the space shuttle. So while I was there, guess what they were playing at Cape Canaveral's IMAX? The Star Trek movie. So I go straight over there, I buy tickets, and the same thing happened. People in front of me in line are like, okay, whoa, what are you doing here? I'm a human being. I like to watch movies also. And so I'm in concessions. I'm like, I'll take 2 popcorns. And people are like, whoa, what are you doing here? I go, I like movies like that. I go, where are you guys sitting there? Oh, what? I'm going to sit with you. Like, what? So here I am sitting with all the fans. So I watched it at Cape Canaveral. I told all the people in line at the launch that, oh, you got to see the Trek film. So I met them the day after Cape Canaveral in Orlando to see it at IMAX again. So that was my 3rd time, okay? And then I went overseas for a convention. Now I'm in the Netherlands, right? I'm in Amsterdam. I'm like, okay, where's it playing? Where's it playing? Oh, there's an IMAX theater, and I have to take a train. I have to take public transit, an hour and 10 minutes out of Amsterdam. I'm doing it. So boom, I take an hour and 10-minute train all the way out to this IMAX theater in wherever it was. And the same thing. The Dutch fan's like, what are you doing here? Like that. I'm like, I like movies. So I watched it 12 or 13 times. Yeah. And now here's the funny thing. They have the Saturn Awards, the Sci-Fi Awards comes around, and they're honoring J.J. Abrams. So sure enough, I show up, and I'm waiting at the after party. J.J. walks in, and I go, hey, wait, what's up, J.J.? Hey, thanks for the invite for your for the premiere. And he's like, hey, man, sorry, And I go, that's okay, J.J., because I saw your movie 13 times, and I paid for the fans in front of me and behind me. And they're like, he's like, what? You did what? He kind of gave me that look like, you're crazy, But it just showed me how much I loved it. Now, let's flash forward to the next installment, all right? I took a picture of myself in the movie theater, beaming before the movie began. And I tweeted, about to watch the new Trek film, like that. All right, after the movie was done, I deleted the tweet. I was like, no. Because to me, that movie, Star Trek Into Darkness, STID, the acronym, I tweeted later, I go, STID stands for Star Trek Imitating Die Hard, okay? Because to me, it was all action. I almost felt like Man of Steel had more sci-fi elements than the Trek film. And I was very upset with the reversal of what happened. Has everyone seen? Yeah, pretty much, right? Okay, I'm not spoiling anything, right? All right. Yeah, Spock yelling Kirk, right? What the heck? Come on now. Let's not recycle stuff like that, right? And then they bring in Khan. They should have just left that guy as not Khan, but as whatever. And you know what they should have did? They should have panned across some of the other crew members in those stasis tubes and said, there's the real Khan right there, right? That would have been smart.
That would've been awesome.
Right. But instead, they cast the most. Now, I have nothing against Benedict Cumberbatch, because when I tweeted this, all the Benedict Cumberbatch fans came and they stepped on me. They're like, how dare you? How dare you say that he's not a good Khan? I said, no, okay, let's go back to the history of who is Khan? Khan is a genetically engineered super warrior. He is Sikh of origin. What is Sikh? East Indian. It's Asian, right? Okay, Ricardo Montalban is not Asian, but boy, he did a damn good job though, didn't he? I mean, he was amazing as Khan. So why mess with that, first of all, right? And now you cast probably one of the skinniest guys in Hollywood. And like, that guy's gonna be believable that he's gonna beat up 37 Klingons in that one scene? Not, okay? That's not gonna happen. And I remember the tweets from some of the Cumberbatch fans. They're like, how dare you? Benedict spent 6 weeks with a trainer bulking up. And I said, okay. I tweeted back, I said, let me just put this into perspective, okay? All right, take regular English dude, all right? Normal English guy off the street, and give him 6 weeks of training, and now he's the normal size of an American or Canadian guy, okay? That doesn't work out. That's what happens, all right? Now, so it was just like, are you kidding me? No. So and the crazy thing is this, J.J. Abrams had the ideal actor to play Khan already, that he already has a relationship with. J.J. Abrams produced Lost, the TV series Lost. There's an actor who played Saeed in there. That actor was also in a movie called English Patient. That man knows how to act. Okay, he's as good as Benedict Cumberbatch in terms of his talent, and he is Sikh in background, and he's bulky looking. You know what I'm saying? I would believe that guy kicks Klingon booty, but not Benedict. Benedict would have been broken in half like a toothpick in real life, blink, like that. So I hated the second one. So I'm sorry if anyone was a big fan of that second one, I'm sorry. It was real pretty. It looked beautiful, but there was no substance. It was fluff. So, yeah.
Well, we did get the wrap. We don't want to end on you bashing.
I know. Oh, my God. Let's say something happy. What do you think?
Any message for the fans who've come out to your Q&A?
Yes, I want to thank you all for taking the time to come out to my Q&A. I hope I have entertained you in some regards, and yes. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say Thank you for all the years of support you guys have given, because honestly, without you guys, there would be no Trek. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and I will give you your hug when I see you, okay? Thank you! AJ! Give a clap for this man. Yes. Thank you, buddy. Have a good con!